Hello, everybody. My name is Troy. We'll get started with the crypto webinar at this time. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I'll be presenting the webinar today. Before we get going, just do a quick OK in the chat box if you're hearing me clearly and seeing the screen all right. Okay, great. Looks like we're ready to go. I've got enough responses. If anyone has any issues with hearing or whatever as we go along, just let me know. Okay, so some interesting movements of late, some diversion actually between Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market going on right now, which is also a little atypical, but it does happen on occasion. We'll take a look at some opportunities that already existed and also that exist moving forward potentially from these movements and from this somewhat unique setup that's occurring. And we'll look at some reasons why those movements might be occurring that way. As always, understand all investments have risk. This includes Forex trading, CFDs, spread betting, options trading. No one move is guaranteed to profit. And, you know, obviously there is good potential on every move for profits, which is why we're all here, to try and learn as best we can, to add information and tools to our tool belt, so to speak, to improve upon the number of trades, obviously, that we profit on, hopefully, and lower the number that go the wrong way. And that's what trading's all about. Not trying to be right every time, but hopefully getting a strategy together that will help you be right more than you're wrong. The full risk disclosure statement is there on avatrade.com. You can check it out. Now, as we go forward, keep in mind that this is not meant to be financial advisement. It's from an educational perspective to give you some information and useful ideas to hopefully improve upon your trading strategy. Now, we could get into a whole slideshow of what is crypto technology. You know, blockchain technology is the technology behind cryptocurrencies. In general, understand it's a digital ledger that's decentralized, meaning you can think of it kind of like an asset like gold that's decentralized. There's not one economy to call home. So it becomes somewhat of a safe haven from individual jobs numbers, economic announcements, and it's kind of behaved that way over the past year or so, where during times of high volatility, we've actually seen some movements that mirror gold, kind of as a safe haven type idea with the cryptocurrencies and maybe Bitcoin in specifically. So general idea here, decentralized technology that to this point seems to be hack proof, so very stable and starting to be utilized, this technology, not just for cryptocurrencies, but in voting systems, issuing private stock, all kinds of things that are taking advantage of the stability of this technology. And as people are realizing just how stable and just how secure this blockchain technology is, they're not only using it for other purposes, but also becoming more and more interested in getting back into cryptocurrencies again. And we're seeing that on the market. We're seeing a larger volume of traders. We're seeing nice trending, predictable movements on the charts more again. And it's behaving maybe more like a traditional asset in many ways, but also with enough volatility to make nice potential profits. And so this is kind of what we're seeing in the crypto market now. Before we get on the charts on my demo account, let's take a look at some of the latest news, the fundamental news, maybe helping to drive some of these movements on the cryptocurrencies. And so we see here an article that just came out yesterday saying that BitPay is going to enable merchant payments from all Bitcoin wallets. And we've got some other news here as well. So you start to see more and more of this with the articles being a situation where you see easier access to using cryptocurrencies for payments, more merchants accepting payments as a mainstream method for buying things, easier ways of exchanging currencies back and forth. So what we're seeing here is what I alluded to just a moment ago, the mainstreaming of the technology. Okay, It's becoming more and more acceptable from many entities. And so we even see news about the US, okay, doing some things with cryptocurrencies. We see Singapore Monetary Authority and licensing going on with cryptocurrencies. And so as this becomes mainstreamed and accepted maybe by more entities, private and governmental, we start to see maybe some more predictable movements with these assets as well. So these types of articles tend to be maybe bullish, right? Positive sentiment for the market as a whole. And we'll take a look at that, what's happening with the market as a whole on the charts. As you see articles like this, I'll show you what you could have already traded on. This was yesterday, okay? So over the past day. Then we see an article, Major Investment Force Awakens as Financial Advisors Warm Up to Bitcoin. Financial advisors we're talking about here, which is exactly what I'm not. I'm not a financial advisor, but they're saying that financial advisors are warming up to Bitcoin, okay? So again, mainstreaming the idea of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin specifically here in this article, being a legitimate investment, right? Being seen as more legitimate and less, black market type view that some people had of cryptocurrencies in the beginning. So, and this article came out yesterday as well. You're welcome to check it out and read the whole thing on your own, but you get the general idea here. And by the way, as we look here, what do we see happening today? Bitcoin in the green, Ethereum up in the green, Ripple up in the green, up 11%, EOS up almost 4%. So everything's green here. The article headlines from yesterday and the percent movement today thus far correlate with each other. Predictability. You could have already profited this had you gone with those movements based on yesterday's articles, okay? And I'm not here to say that every article is right. And the movement always goes the direction of the sentiment that you can gain from looking at fundamental news like we're looking at. But many times it can be helpful, okay? And I think we're seeing that now. So what else do we have going on? What about outside of the crypto market? What's the sentiment? Green. Okay, so we've got a lot of buyers right now on a lot of assets. We've got the futures in the green. Yesterday's numbers with huge increases on the major indices, and the fear index down. Okay, the VIX index, if you don't know what that is, the volatility index. Many times people refer to that as the fear index. Down today, thus far, over 3%. So that's a quick snapshot of what's happening here. And why is the fear index down? You see this headline. Stocks jump on reports that there's a drug breakthrough for the coronavirus. It's a big deal. Okay, major economy with China, kind of on lockdown quite a bit, with a lot of what's going on in their economy there right now because of the coronavirus. And this is major good news if that's going to be the case. But just the idea that people think that might be the case from this headline, it was predictable that futures were going to rise. And that's what you're trading on our platform with those indices like Dow Jones, S&P 500. They're available even when the market in the US is not open. Okay, so could have been acting on those already as well. Okay, so that's a snapshot of what's happening in the market. Look at the movement over the past 1 hour. This is the Crypto 10 index. Okay, it's on our platform. Crypto 10 index. I was hoping this movement would wait until we started the webinar because it was predictable. I had the articles picked out, ready to show several hours back, and I was watching this resistance level here. Okay, predictable resistance level. You see over here. Here's the technical analysis of it. Resistance, resistance, resistance here. And then you see the articles, right? You see positive momentum with these nice articles about Bitcoin and about some of the other cryptos, that there's sentiment that's positive. And so what kind of pending order would have got you in on this just 1 hour ago? Just 1 hour ago? What kind of pending order would have bought as it broke this resistance? You could have gotten in right here as it broke the resistance, verifying an uptrend. A pending order of a buy stop would get you in on that. So if you had the crypto 10 open, if you just go back 2 hours in time, you saw the quick review of the market in terms of the fundamentals. You say, okay, positive momentum. You go to pending order on the crypto 10. You put a buy stop, would buy from a higher point, and you could have programmed to get in as it broke the resistance, let's say at 30.80. Would have been a spot technical analysis wise that would have been confirmation of a breakthrough of the resistance, okay, which is where I drew this line. And so if you got in here at 30.75 or so as it broke, this is what we call breakthrough candle. Then from 30.75 to 31.04 right now, you'd already be up $30 per coin on that, or per indice on that movement. Okay, a one lot position would be 10 indices. So, you know, $30 rise, you'd be up 300 already on that simple buy stop pending order. And what did we base that on? We based it on some of the fundamental news on the crypto market that came out yesterday and today. We looked at the momentum. We decided maybe it makes more sense to buy on this than to sell. And there it went. Look at the breakthrough just 45 minutes ago. Okay, type okay if you're with me on that. Pairing the fundamental news specific to crypto with your technical analysis to pick the direction that makes the most sense. And you see the power of it right there, right in front of our eyes over the last 45 minutes. Okay, if anyone has questions, keep in mind, I encourage that. Please ask, or any input. So there's an opportunity already that broke through. What if this pulls back? What kind of pending order would buy from the support? If you say, okay, I missed that breakthrough, what do I do now? If you think it's still positive momentum, but you'd like to catch an opportunistic drop in the price, if you wanted to buy from back down here, what pending order would buy from a lower price? If I go to pending orders and I say, okay, I missed it, maybe it'll pull back and then I'll get an opportunistic spot to buy again. What kind of pending order out of these four buys from a lower price? Does anyone know? It has to start with the word buy if you're planning to buy. The buy stop was buying from a higher point, so it has to be the other one, right? Buy limit. Exactly, Mohammed. So the buy limit would buy from a lower price. And so you could program it to buy from this old resistance level right here. According to support resistance theory, once the resistance is broken with a breakthrough candle, which is what this was, breakthrough candles show momentum. They show a change in the market. They show larger candle than the prior candles. This is a classic breakthrough candle right here. And so if it did pull back, this should be support now instead of resistance because it broke the resistance. Should flip and become support. So one idea would be you could buy if it pulls back towards what should be support now. Okay. Obviously, no guarantee. It could break it back down, but that's an opportunistic entry point if you believe in the positive momentum right now. And it makes sense technical analysis wise. You also might say, well, what if it just keeps climbing? What if it keeps climbing? Then you don't get in on it with a buy limit, right? It won't. If it doesn't come back, you don't get in with a buy limit. So let's look at smaller candles, 15-minute, 5-minute. This is strong momentum, okay? That's strong momentum on the way up. You see it pulled back once and went up. Likely, eventually, it'll have a pullback, but maybe not all the way to the support. So if you're looking at it and looking for an opportunity to enter, you could say, okay, here's the uptrend. Here's the slope. If it comes back to the slope, maybe not the support level, but if it comes back to the slope somewhere, maybe that's your spot that you think you'd want to get in. Okay, but those exact decisions are up to each individual trader. How patient are you? Would you rather get in now and just put your stop loss all the way back down here below the support? Those decisions are up to each trader. But certainly you see the power of what would have been a buy stop the breakthrough and the payout that you could have already had. So these are the opportunities to look for. Where's the resistance? I don't see any resistance on the small candles, so we need to go like 1 hour. I don't see resistance over here. 4 hour, no resistance showing. 1 day. Now we see potential resistance, right? The current price is nearing a larger resistance. You see this on the 1 day candles. Okay, we had to go all the way to the 1 day candles and look back to September of last year. Now we found the resistance. So this momentum climbing, when it gets maybe to 31, 35, 31, 37, somewhere in that range, it's reaching a resistance level, which is a pretty major resistance level. It's been there since September of last year. So maybe if you missed the rise already, right, you can see that it still has maybe $30 more per coin or per indice still to rise before it reaches the resistance. Okay, so that's valuable knowledge to know. There's not a major resistance level for another $30 up. Now we go back to the 5-minute candles and you say, look, it just broke to a higher point again. That's an uptrend. Maybe you get in on a market move. But you know, if you're scalping, where the major resistance level is about $30 up. Okay, so if you don't want to wait for a pullback to buy, you can buy on the market. And with the idea that if you believe the momentum will carry it to that next resistance level. Okay, so there's some opportunity here for potential rise to the resistance level, and we're watching it as we're talking about it. Okay, so let's then look at Bitcoin. And you see Bitcoin's rising with the crypto 10. There's the resistance. This was just 30 minutes ago. It broke through the resistance. Okay. Buy stop would have gotten you in. I do wish we'd have started 45 minutes sooner. We could have watched it live while it happened. But there it is. It goes with the fundamental news. You could set up a buy limit, Lesego, if you think it'll pull back, right? Buy limit would be buying from a lower price. If it just keeps running up, buy limit won't activate. But if you believe it'll pull back, you can wait. If you think you want to get in now, you can do a market move. Okay, buy or sell for that matter. I like to go with the fundamental news, with the momentum, with what the technical analysis shows me, which tells me uptrend. So yeah, opportunistic would be wait for it to come down, then buy. Getting in with the momentum would be buying right now, right? If you believe in the rise, which I'm not saying you have to believe in, but we see what's happening. Even before we saw the breakthrough, we said positive momentum. We look at the chart and there it was. Okay. This happens many, many, many times. So let me give you an example of how you avoid the losing trade. Do you think that some traders sold off this resistance, right? Resistance. Why were we not talking about selling off the resistance? Why were we not talking about that? Why did we prefer, even before we looked at the chart, to buy off the breakthrough? Why did we not talk about selling off of the resistance? Because the fundamental news was positive. We looked at the fundamental news, and how long did that take us? To look at the fundamental news, to learn what direction we prefer. 5-10 minutes, that's all it took. 5-10 minutes, we looked, we had an idea of which direction we think it's more likely to go. Then you go to the chart, set up your technical analysis, find the proper entry points with either pending orders, in this case buy stops made sense, or market moves, which maybe 10 minutes ago a market move made sense, right? When we were saying if you don't want to wait for a pullback, it could keep rising. There you go, it's up another $20, $30 per coin here on Bitcoin in the last 10 minutes. Okay, so very easy to predict many times when you compare or prepare, I should say, fundamental review first, then go to the technical entry points for your moves. Questions, comments at all? Any requests to look at a specific coin? We'll take a look at a couple more, but if anyone wants to request to look at a specific one, I'm happy to do that to help you analyze it. Okay, Ethereum. Let's do that. All right. There's Ethereum. I think it speaks for itself, right? Had you done what we said made sense when we started the webinar, you're in the money on Ethereum too. Emmanuel, just carbon copy, repeat of what we already went over. The only thing about Ethereum, maybe the resistance point's at a different spot. So let's look. 4-hour candles, I don't see resistance. 1-day candles, there's the resistance. Okay, so we're reaching a major resistance level right about now on Ethereum. Okay, Bitcoin wasn't there yet, but Ethereum is reaching a major resistance level. So maybe right now, according to technical analysis, is not the best time to buy, right? It might pull back. So maybe you're waiting for a pullback off this resistance or a breakthrough. Couldn't you put a buy stop above this resistance? If it breaks the resistance, same strategy. You can get in on a buy stop, and then the next resistance level's way up here. Okay, next resistance isn't until 223 if it breaks through this one. Okay, if it gets a breakthrough, at some point you can go with a buy stop again. Okay, let's look at Ripple. That's another request here. So a good point here before we switch to Ripple. The direction seems to be the same. Bitcoin, Ethereum, okay? Crypto 10 index. The spot at which you might take profit might be different in timing based on where's the next resistance level, right? And you can take profit and then you can get back in if it breaks through. If it pulls back, you're happy you took the profit, right? So that's a point to keep in mind. So let's look at Ripple. That's been requested. Okay, again, let's go to 15-minute candles or 5-minute candles. This one's different, right? What's Ripple doing? Not following the rest of the market. Something's different about Ripple right now. Ripple formed resistance and dropped off the resistance, okay? So it hit this support down here, and there's where it bottomed out off the support. If you feel Ripple will follow the rest of the market now, perhaps it's an opportunistic entry point to get in at a low point if you think it's also going to rise like the Crypto 10 and like Bitcoin and like the other cryptos are doing right now. Before I would act on Ripple, do a search, do a Google search, see if anything unique is happening with Ripple right now. I haven't seen it, but something's different with Ripple. So check it. Check it before you trade on Ripple. It's acting different than the rest of the crypto market right now. So check it out. See if there's something that bad came out about Ripple. Why is it down while the others are up? Okay. Sometimes I don't have all the info, right? I did not see anything negative about Ripple. If you do a quick check and you don't see anything to be alarmed about Ripple, then maybe this is an opportunistic spot to go with the direction of the rest of the market, getting in off a lower point instead of a high point. Okay, that's a good one to check out, to do some searches on your own. Test your fundamental search and go with it. Okay. Any others to look at? Gerard, what do you mean asset based? Ripple is paired against the USD, but so are the others. So if it's the USD that pulled Ripple down, and the USD is strengthening today, if the USD pulled Ripple down, why didn't it pull the others down? Still, something is causing Ripple to drop while the others were going up. Something unique about it. Yeah, exactly. There are unique differences between the individual cryptocurrencies. So there's something unique about Ripple right now that it's not following the rest of the overall crypto market. This is a good, I'm glad that happened today, because a lot of times they're all moving the same way. And sometimes you get into the habit, you think that they all have to go the same way. They don't. Okay, let's look at Nasdaq. Why not? Even though it's a crypto webinar, I don't mind looking. The indices have been tremendous, absolutely tremendous. Nasdaq, same thing, climbing. Okay, it's had a little bit of a pullback. If we go 1 day, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, that's a new high, folks. There is no precedent over here. There's no resistance level because it's a new high. This is momentum. This is momentum. Keep in mind also today it's expected President Trump in the U.S. will be acquitted in the Senate. The majority of the senators have already said they're going to vote to acquit. That might add more momentum on the market. It's possible. We could look at the FTSE as well. This is unique to the U.S., isn't it? The FTSE not climbing. It's at the resistance. CAC 40 stopped at the resistance. Okay, so other places, DAX at the resistance, trying to break it, but didn't. Maybe that's an opportunity. Many times the world markets follow each other. Okay, the DAX is trying to break the resistance. Nasdaq's already at a new high. US indices are climbing. Maybe what's an opportunity here? If you think the DAX is going to do what the US market already did on the futures, if you think the DAX is going to move, what might you do here? And actually, this looks like don't trust this move. This is an old chart. Never mind. Sometimes my demo account's not updated. This is an example. You see the date, July 1st down here. Let me look at the date on this candle. Nope, don't trust this chart. Never mind. FTSE, same thing. July 1st. Nasdaq, updated. Not updated. Let's see. Not updated. Don't go with this chart. These are February 1st. I apologize. I need to request this goes live right now on some of these charts. Okay, no problem. Any other questions before we end things? I think this is a good spot to stop. We took a good look at the crypto market. Any questions? We'll take a look at heating oil, gasoline, some of these other assets in the other webinars, okay? Not in the crypto webinar. Yeah, it could be, Gerard. I'll check things out. Thank you. Okay, everybody. If there aren't any other questions about the cryptocurrencies, just let me take a quick look back here. Let's get off the 1 month. You know what? Let me go back. Give me a second. I'm curious. I was on the 1 month candle, so it could be. Yeah, we are okay here. I take that back. I was on the 1 month candle, so it wasn't showing the individual days when I clicked on the candles. I apologize. It is the same. FTSE broke through, okay? When we look at 15-minute, 5-minute, CAC 40 broke through. Nikki broke through. Okay, I do have the live feeds. Okay, I fooled myself there with the 1 month candles. So the live feeds are here, and they are moving the same direction, the world markets. So the indices are moving with tremendous momentum, whether we're looking at German, Europe, anywhere in the European Union, US indices, Asian markets, they're all climbing right now in the indices, okay? And again, we do have the live feeds here. That was my mistake. I was looking at 1 month candles, and so it looked like it was back in time. So any other questions? And someone wanted to look at heating oil. We'll do it real quick, and then we'll call it a day because those assets we'll look at in the other webinars. But let's have a quick look. There's crude oil. Okay, crude oil pushing up. Why would oil be climbing right now? Why does that make sense? What's driving oil up? Why was that predictable that you could have traded up on oil through this resistance? Resistance, resistance, breakthrough. Yeah, positive momentum on the markets, good momentum for the economy. People assume higher demand for oil then. Good economy, higher demand for oil, so they speculate and the price is driven up. So it's a positive correlation many times. When you see Nasdaq reach a new high, put your buy stop on oil, boom, there it went. Easy move. Easy move there. Doesn't work every time, right? But it works many times. And let me find heating oil. Here it is. Same thing. Why did heating oil spike up? Increase in economic optimism equals increase in demand for fuel, even heating oil many times, and there's the positive momentum. So again, same technical strategies. Breakthroughs, easy profits. Okay? All right. Thank you all for your patience. I apologize for the confusion when I was on the 1 month candles. Obviously, it looks like I'm going back in time because we're looking at 1 month at a time, but obviously we're on the live market. It's moving here with today's date. So everything's current that we covered. So get in the action. We see live movements on all these assets, breakthroughs, momentum. Do what makes sense to you. I think you all can profit through the day here today with the proper forethought, okay? All right, all the best. Good luck with your trading. I'll see you next week in the webinars. Bye for now.